Anderson Silva was once one of the most revered and legendary fighters in the UFC, but what has happened to the former MMA champion? Fans who remember the Spider at his apex will remember a hire that seemed nearly unbeatable, scoring sensational victories over the likes of Stephan Bonnar, Chael Sonnen, Vitor Belfort, Forrest Griffin, Rich Franklin, and Dan Henderson. Silva retired from the sport of mixed martial arts in 2020, and we'll be looking at what the former UFC middleweight champion has done since then in this article. Here is everything you need to know about Anderson Silva and what happened to the former UFC champion after he left the sport. What is Anderson Silva doing now? After retiring from the octagon, Silva confirmed that he planned on moving into the sport of boxing full-time. Speaking to MMA Fighting in 2021, he revealed, "The problem in this sport, the people don't respect the fighters, especially the old generation. I think everything I do for MMA is done. I'm happy, but I'm not fighting anymore in MMA. Definitely not." Silva's first bout in boxing actually took place back in 1998 in a losing effort to Osmar Luis Teixeira. He would then defeat Julio Cesar de Jesus in 2005, but wouldn't return to the squared circle until his MMA career ended. The fighter's return to the boxing ring was successful, as he defeated Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. via split decision in June of 2019. Did Anderson Silva ever lose in UFC? The mixed martial arts great would end his MMA career with a record of 34-11-0, 1-C, so he did unfortunately lose quite a few times. Those who stopped watching the Ultimate Fighting Championship after the fighter's heyday would probably be shocked to hear that he lost 7 of his 9 bouts from 2013 onwards. These losses came to Chris Weidman, Michael Bisping, Daniel Cormier, Israel Adesanya, Jared Cannonier, and Uriah Hall. Whilst those names are all impressive fighters in their own right, Spider was once looked at as the absolute king of the octagon, and him continuing to fight later into his career appears to have really harmed his legacy. Is Anderson Silva the best fighter of all time? When it comes to striking inside the octagon, there is arguably no one better in the history of the fight game than the Spider. As noted by Damon Martin of Bleacher Report in 2013, on the feet, there is no one deadlier than Silva in UFC history. Beyond his knockout record, Silva is also the most accurate striker ever, landing 67.8% of his significant strikes. Mixed martial arts is of course a multifaceted sport, so your ability when it comes to the ground game should also be considered. Silva should be considered up there though when it comes to the GOAT conversation among the likes of Georges St-Pierre, John Jones, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Fedor Emelianenko, and Jose Aldo. Has Anderson Silva retired from UFC? Whilst Silva has retired from the octagon and fighting for the UFC, he is still active when it comes to combat sports, correct as of writing on Saturday, February 18, 2023. Silva has already fought in a number of boxing matches against the likes of Tito Ortiz and Jake Paul. How did Anderson Silva lose to Jake Paul? Many expected the former UFC champion to defeat the YouTuber Paul when they faced in October 2022. This would not be the case, as Paul managed to seal the victory by dropping the former UFC champion in the 8th round with a right hand. Will Anderson Silva ever fight in UFC again? Whilst you can never say never when it comes to combat sports, it is extremely unlikely that we will ever see Silva make his way back to the octagon to compete in a fight. Silva appears to be making a great amount of money with his bouts in the pugilistic endeavor, with his bout against Paul reportedly earning him a base salary of $500,000 via Boardroom. I hope you enjoyed the video content and please leave your comment, and if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe, give it a like and share our videos. Thank you to all.